can recognize that. In Kavango East and Kavango West, the Kavango neck, not elsewhere specified grouping, stand out as one example of such as problematic classifications. With over 81,000 people reportedly did not disclose their dialect. And this category end up being larger than the Hambukushu, the Bagdiriku, the Basambu, the Bambunza, the Banyemba group, and etc. Nyemba group, etc. But where are those 81,000 coming from that would not indicate their dialect? Are we ready to believe that 81 respondents in Kavango East and Kavango West provided vague answers? Further issues that were arise in the report handling was the European origin. Then lumping together the Germans, the Afrikaners, the Portuguese, the Spanish, and others into a single big category. Then the broad categorizations glosses over the important distinctions, because until today we can't tell how many Chinese are in Namibia, because they put all the white people in one category. And Chinese are not white, they're just Chinese. It was important for us to know how many Chinese are in Namibia, how many German-speaking Namibians are in Namibia, how many English-speaking people are in Namibia. If you're able to classify other dialects, other tribes, and say, the Basubias are this total, the Ambukushu, the Ziriku are this total, but what about the whites? You're supposed to classify that so that it can become very clear. Now, this inaccurate population data can lead to the ineffective policy making, as government programs and initiatives may be based on a flawed assumptions about demographic needs and trends. And the repeated inconsistency erode the public trust. And that is very bad. Just as I said, that for the first time, we saw the census report being released in installments. 13 March, preliminary result. 30 October, the main report. January 2025, the unemployment statistics in installment. And the poverty index is not yet released until today. Now, the absence of a poverty index in the report limits its utility for policy as well as planning. The first census report of 1991 was a poverty index. The 1993-1994 income expenditure survey was a poverty index. The 1995 agricultural census was a poverty index. The same can be said in 2001 census, 2003-2004 income expenditure survey, 2005 agricultural census, and so on. But with this report, it's missing. And now, National Planning Commission announced that they're going to conduct the income and expenditure survey this year. There is drought relief that has been rolled out currently now.
Time is up. Time is up.
Okay.
Can I then first give somebody a chance and then you can come back?
Okay, I can come back, no problem.
Any further discussion? Commander.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Honorable First Chairperson of the Committee of the Whole Council. My voice today is not so good. I'm like Honorable Bisifu today, but I have something. It's very brief. First of all, I would like also to join my honorable members who congratulated our first female president, which is Dr. Notumonadi Deitwa in our cabinet. And secondly, I just want to appeal as a public account. We are working together with the Office of the Audit General. But now we are talking about the Planning Commission, and I'm appealing and concur with Honorable Kadongo Minya, who said that why these people are not doing the same as the Office of the Audit General. Because those people, they used to go to the region to monitor any penny of the government. But why the National Planning Committee cannot come to the region to say, okay, this year we are planning like this according to the MTEF, so that they can go, because if there's no monitoring and evaluation, so we are not doing anything. as you want to go, maybe I'm also appealing to them as a National Planning Commission to come down to the regions so that they can see that which is in the MTF are monitored. That's my appeal. I just joined my Honorable Kadangwaminya. I don't have much to say. That to make sure that they can also coming down like the Office of the Audit General. I so submit. Thank you.
Yeah, before Honorable Debele, I also wanted to say, according to your Regional Council Act, I believe it's also part of your responsibility to supervise the development of National Council at the regional level. Honorable Debele, just go back and verify with your Regional Council Act. I think it's part of your mandate. But it's not that I'm not concurring, it's just that I added something. Honorable Debele?
Good afternoon. Honorable First Chairperson of the Committee of the Whole Council. I greet you in this language that I will be speaking now. So in a normal sense, trees never meet, but humans meet. That's the direct translation. Allow me to congratulate Dr. Keire Mbonde, a comrade in that regard. The Bible says wise men come from the east. So be with the son of the soil. Honorable members, I'm touched with statements that were made by Honorable Bango. It's so painful in our new republic, 35 years old, seeing that certain ethnic groups are totally left out. In the same preliminary results that were released, we have a community that Honorable Kanangominya alluded to, being the Bakhalahari people or community. In reference to these results of the NSA, they don't exist. They have a language which is it's called Sekhalahari, which is totally different even from speaking Setswana. So, but really, I don't know whether they are still counted under the Botswanas, and which make them more vulnerable. Whilst having a recognition or a gazetted traditional authority with a jurisdiction where they are gazetted, and currently there's even arguments whether should they be placed under marginalized and so on, but in these results they don't exist at all, totally. And really, it's not so good that you run or you are even a leader in their respective jurisdiction, but you don't even know the number or how many they are. So how are you going to do your planning then in that regard? And then my last one, the funds that are released for projects, and I'm specifically referring to Kunene region. There were bridges that were built or built in that specific region, or at Kunene in the so-called Kauko land. And these bridges have collapsed. But when you try to find out from the National Planning Commission what actually, whether they are aware of that, what has transpired there, they are totally new. They don't know. And which also bring me to actually now advise or encourage the newly appointed director, Dr. Keire Mbwende, to look into that, to strengthen the monitoring, evaluation and reporting of those specific projects. With that, I support the vote. I so submit.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable First Vice Chair of the Committee of the World Council, honorable members. I'm very happy that most of the honorable members have already said what are supposed to say.
Continue, Honorable Member.
Thank you so much. NPC plays a critical role in terms of Vision 2030 that we set for ourselves on how do we want to achieve the industrialization. And I'm here to find out or either establish what are the management-oriented systems does NPC use in order to monitor the programs nationwide. And that's where I come to find out, or either rather in the next financial year, let's call these people to come and tell us what had really happened. We know maybe we will not have institutional memories, but if there is any management-oriented system which is there, they can take us through to say, this is where we have failed, and this is where we really need to improve. If I borrow Honorable Mbangu's word, it can't be right that we finance a lot of projects and then we don't know when it should start, we don't know when it should end. And then you only come to act when there is a media release that something is not going right. That's when you want to act. And the reason why I stand here is that I am appealing, or either pleading to National Planning Commission, if they could imitate what hydrogen oxide does. Hydrogen oxide doesn't have any sharp edge, but the consistency is in its consistent flow of water, whereby that water without a sharp edge, it cuts through a hard rock. What I mean now is monitoring, evaluation, and delay. So that is where national planning should have to consider. Otherwise, we have invested a lot of money, but looking at what we have produced, it is questionable. And I really want them to improve on this. Honorable First Vice Chair, I say something. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Honorable. Honorable Bangu, you can continue.
First, Vice Chairperson, the Committee of the Whole Council. Namibia has the highest income inequalities in the world. And National Planning Commission must address the disparities in wealth, access to resources, and opportunities which can hinder social cohesion and sustainable development, because they're the ones that are dealing with the statistics. I'm appealing to the new DP Director General, Honorable Dr. Mbwende, that NPC should develop and advocate for policy aimed at promoting equitable resource distribution and ensuring that the marginalized and the vulnerable communities receive the necessary attention and support. And then lastly, NPC is carrying out the income and expenditure survey. Now, while they'll be carrying out this survey, because normally this is what happens, honorable members, just to simplify for you to understand. What will happen is that if they are carrying out a survey, for example, in Tambo village, they will sample 20 households because they'll be using sampling method. They sample 20 households, and then they give every household a booklet. And then the household must record every consumption and every expenditure. If they eat porridge or lunch during the day, they must record that they consumed porridge. Then they must also estimate the value of that porridge. Maybe it's $10. And then they also consumed tinned fish, and then the value is $20. So they have to record that for over a period of a month. That's how they calculate the income and expenditure survey. But now, people will also be receiving doubt relief. So now, in the data turbulences, because they are receiving doubt relief, in the recording, doubt relief is not a permanent measure, it's a temporary one. And National Planning Commission, I think, have to come up very clearly on how are they going to reconcile that so that we can be able to have accurate data that can clearly demonstrate or tell the nations about the levels of livings in different society. I think there must be room for improvement, and we want them to improve. They must not repeat the same blunder that they made with the census report. And lastly, they have a big role to play. They're supposed to advise the president on a lot of issues, developmental issues, and we have not seen that. National Planning Commission was supposed to advise even the Minister of Finance with a budget allocation, and we have not seen that. Supposed to advise the Minister of Urban Rural Development on how can they allocate resources to different regions, because those data are supposed to inform those different ministries in terms of the allocations of budget, and we want them to improve, and there's a room for, and to do better, to improve on what they are currently doing. Those were my short submission. However, I support the vote, and I so submit because of time. Otherwise, I could have went through to compare the budget, the developmental budget, and the operational budget. And I was just disappointed that last year, 2023, based on that budget, there was a zero developmental budget for National Planning Commission. But because of time, I will not dwell into that. So I will just leave it there. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable. Any further discussion? Any objection? I see none. Agreed to. Honorable Member, I shall now put vote 03, National Assembly, 398,208,000 Namibian dollars. Any discussion? Any discussion? Any further discussion? Any objection? I see none. Agreed to. Honorable members, I shall now report the progress and ask leave to sit again. Honorable Vice Chairperson, the Committee of the Whole Council has gone through vote 01, vote 02, vote 30, vote 07, vote 26, and vote 03 of the Appropriation Bill, Bill 6 of 2025, and has agreed to the set votes. I now ask this to sit again.
Thank you, dear committees.
Thank you.
Honorable members, thank you very much. I have followed your debate, and I could see that you were debating very, very, very good. And I like such debates. And thank you for the first vice chairperson of the Committee of the All Council. For the first time, you can see that he's an experienced person. Thank you very much. Honorable members, that was the order of the day. It is now in accordance with Rule 31 of the National Council Standing Rules and Orders that I adjourn the House without a question being put. So, honorable members, the House stands adjourned until tomorrow, 9:30 sharp. The House stands adjourned.
Step into the world of law, justice, and accountability with the Wheels of Justice with me, Daniel Nadunia, Namibia's leading